You woke up, groped for your phone, and immediately went to check how others are living. Your personal daily life is pure, unmitigated rot, but your limbic brain has found the ideal way to hide from reality. You turned on a stream. You sit in your stuffy room, where layers of dust have accumulated on the baseboards, unwashed dishes have been souring in the sink for days, and empty packages from cheap fast food lie in the corner. This is the physical log of your mental decay. Instead of building your empire and gnawing out living space with your teeth, you voluntarily chose the role of a virtual cuckold. You sit and watch through the screen for hours as another person, strong, media-savvy, confident, takes the best resources, travels, buys expensive cars, and interacts with top beauties. Your central nervous system has completely adapted to the role of a passive observer. You receive miserable crumbs of surrogate dopamine from contemplating someone else's success. Remember, this is a place of strength. If you lack the will to create your reality, if you lack intellect, do not interfere. Let's break down your mundane figures. Your penny salary, which is barely enough to pay the rent for your kennel and buy food on clearance, goes towards sponsoring someone else's greatness. Remember how you send a donation to your favorite streamer or blogger. You tear from your empty pocket the last 500 or 1,000 rubles earned through hard, humiliating labor and give them to a person who earns millions a day. Why do you do this? Your cowardly brain buys the illusion of belonging. You hope that your idol will read your nickname on the stream, say a passing thank you, and your gray, mediocre life will gain meaning for a second. This is a total systemic defect. You sponsor other people's matte SUVs and apartments in elite residential complexes, while you yourself calculate pennies at the checkout of the local supermarket and frantically check your balance with a discount coupon. Errors in data are a defect. Your financial behavior is pure degeneration. The mass is frantically afraid of real competition and harsh tactical actions. It is easier to buy an indulgence for weakness, turn on a broadcast, and dissolve into someone else's life. You endure everyday poverty, flabby relationships, and a lack of respect in the real world because you have a saving enclosure, the stream chat. There you can write messages, place emojis, and simulate hyperactivity and communication. You have created a comfortable echo chamber for yourself, where your helplessness will never face a challenge. The moment a weak thought flashes in your head to close the tab, quit your slavish job and begin to harshly scale your personal income, your conformist environment, and your own laziness. Turn on a protective script. Where are you climbing? Everything is stable for us. Sit quietly, and you obediently step back. You and your environment have turned into lead biorobots sitting in the same burrow, preserving each other's poverty. Remember, this is a place of strength, and weak elements are not welcome here. Your dopamine synapse is completely burnt out by a cheap electronic surrogate. Your evenings are an endless passive consumption of streams, let's plays, and podcasts. Your mind is no longer capable of holding focus on a complex tactical task for longer than 10 minutes. Your memory is destroyed. Your concentration is worse than that of a goldfish. You cannot read a deep book. You cannot build business analytics. You cannot even keep your back straight. Your posture has completely capitulated before the monitor. You work for the platform owners and top content creators for free, giving them your precious biological time, the only irreplaceable resource. Your neocortex is in a state of deep hibernation. You have turned into an ideal, sterilized consumer who pays a tax on his own stupidity with every single view and click. In the wild, the leader of a pack ruthlessly leaves behind weak and led individuals. They are incapable of keeping up the pace of expansion, so they simply become food for stronger predators. You have already been left behind. Unit AX3. You sit in a suspended state in your electronic corral while your pockets are empty and your mind is burnt out by cheap ersatz information. Remember once and for all, the social hierarchy and the planet's resources possess precise thermal tracking. They see only pure aggressive strength, an icy structure, and rigid tactics. The system simply does not read your whimpering, your virtual tears, and your loyalty to idols. For the system, you are an invisible dead zone. The collar of freedom presses against your neck only because you yourself are frantically afraid to tear off the leash and manifest primal rage. If you lack the will to gnaw out your space, if you lack intellect, do not interfere. Listen to my final order. You will never exit this cult of virtual cuckoldry, and you will never fix your defective brain, which is clogged with garbage programs, unless you start acting right now. Your only ticket out of this warm swamp of weakness is the goods of the empire. Access to strength, pure content, and rigid algorithms in discussions is expensive, and there will never never be freebies for weak elements here. The starting price for our closed goods of the empire is already fixed in the discussion below this video. Every 10 people, the bar will be automatically and ruthlessly raised. The window of opportunity is closing right now. The time to buy has come before your place in line is taken by a more quick-witted player who processes information faster than your worn-out central nervous system. If you are totally broke and don't even have this money, your path is one. Gnaw out your living space with your teeth, develop your personal empire from scratch, pinpoint cut out the parasites in your environment, and completely liquidate any fuss of the CNS. Communicate strictly based on facts, without unnecessary empathy. Either you buy the goods of the empire and rewrite your personality code, or you remain rotting on your saggy couch, paying for someone else's triumph. The code is launched for execution. Inject this virus into the masses or be erased from the system.